We are back and I am live. Hey guys, happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day. Welcome back to my channel, WatchYoMouthReviews. This is your boy James, where today I am here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It is not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. We're going to live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. I'll say what's up to her.
Good morning and happy Father's Day to everybody.
Yes, be sure to give your father a nice hug, man, woman, or indifferent. Please give your father a hug. Let him know that he is loved and appreciated. We appreciate you guys for being here on this lovely Sunday. So let's get into this episode, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm annoyed with several of these ladies. I really am. But the show opens up where it left off, where we're still in this counseling session where Labrina calls Latoria fake and phony and everything, and they are going back and forth. And the lady is trying, the counselor or therapist, whoever she was trying to get them to kind of mellow out, chill out, because you guys have to be able to hear each other, understand each other, see each other, especially in moments where you have disagreement. It is not something that you should just be trying to get the one up on the other. It should definitely be something where equal playing field should be here and you guys hear each other. So Labrina breaks down and she says that, part of her issue is that she has high anxiety, almost to a point where it seems like she feels like she's having a heart attack. And when people misunderstand her or people don't understand where she is coming from, she tends to break down and gets angry and shut off and completely ignore the person. And she says that she's always, has operated that way. So when she tells the ladies, you're not on my level, it was never an intention to say, you don't match me financially or equity or business wise. It was just, I'm on a different spiritual journey than the rest of you. And you guys are not on that level of spiritual journey based on, my anxiety in those levels. And I could believe Labrina. I can, you know, I could believe it to an extent. However, I just have a hard time believing that that's what you meant about the not being on your level thing. I don't care how many times she says it. I have a hard time believing that. So they have a heart to heart, and Labrina takes the time to acknowledge that Latoria, losing her father, that has to be a huge hindrance on her spirit, her mindset, her being. That has to do a lot, and she couldn't imagine being in that pain. And Latoria breaks down and starts crying, and they were able to meet on equal ground and actually hug it out. So this, in some perspective, puts the group back together. Um, I feel like we probably did see the entire conversation, so maybe we don't know what was handled and what wasn't. But I feel like this was way too easy. If this was really the rift that caused everybody just to trickle down. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the therapy session and these two ladies making amends for the most part?
I don't want friends that I have to end up in therapy with.
Very true.
It shouldn't be all of that. It shouldn't be all of that. That's one. The therapist was out of her league. Didn't look like she was able to handle these ladies. Just because someone has a background in mental health doesn't always mean that they're good at de-escalating problems. And this lady gives me someone who might do better in one-on-one talk therapy with somebody who is interested in changing, not group dynamics with problems. Like, I don't think the therapist was going to be able to wrangle these bitches, honestly. But, you know, I agree with you. Either we didn't see something or everybody just bullshitted and said there was peace for the sake of the show, because it did seem like it was too easy for them to just find peace. And I sent to James and Keywan and Shana this morning Rose page, because she was on social media posting, talk about Chloe's a snake. She don't like certain women in the group, pretty much giving away what we would have hoped to have learned at the end of the season, or if there was a reunion. And I don't like when celebrities do that, or reality celebrities, whatever you want to call these people, because now I feel like I kind of know where everything's going to end up for the
Yep.
season. And it's like, I don't really care. That sounds so bad. But I just had to say that because, like, don't go to Rose page because y'all will find spoilers pretty much for this friend group.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that's so sweet. So I'm happy Father's Day from the Watch Your Mouth review crew. She was deflecting. Absolutely was deflecting. And I think that she was full of shit in a lot of that conversation. Like, I'm not going to, you know, the anxiety thing aside, like, I'll put that to the side.
That
But I
don't have
definitely,
nothing to do with how people behave. People just be saying bullshit, but just because you have anxiety, it's not, that doesn't have to do with your response to something.
right.
It does, but it doesn't, if that makes sense. Labrina's full of shit. Half of these people full of shit. That's why they're on TV. You got to be messy to make it, baby. But to blame it on anxiety irritated me.
It did irritate. Okay, so it irritated me too because I kind of felt like, okay, so what does you having anxiety have to do with you in another therapy session telling everybody that they can kiss your ass and fuck everybody, and they not on your level? Like, what does that anxiety have to do
I
with
know
that?
when I get anxiety, and I have generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder, I know when I get anxiety, I shut down. And I'm a pretty vocal person, but I shut
Yes,
down. So I'm curious. I know everybody do something different, but James is right. To get anxious and you start saying fuck you bitches, you
right. Like,
know my level. Like honestly, just own the fact that they irritated you and you snapped and moved the fuck on, Labrina.
thank you, because I just wasn't buying that, y'all. As much as I have a 50-50 with Labrina, I was not buying that. I just wasn't. I'm like, come on. It's no, like I love you, Labrina, I do, but no, baby, that wasn't it. That come on, we too grown for this. So we gonna move on, y'all. The next thing, Elena.
I forgot she was in the episode.
Yes, for
Oh
a
god.
small listen, I will say Carlos,
She don't need
executive.
the money. She don't need the money. Oprah Winfrey Network. She is a well-respected makeup artist. Her business is successful. She's gonna be okay without her man or with her man. She doesn't need the money. She don't have the time to film. Let me tell y'all this. Elena is the ruler of OWN, okay? She is the first remote reality star on the OWN network.
I'm just trying to figure out how many more times we gonna see this lady in her business or in her home talking about this separation and how the well-being of her children. This is not what we signed up for when we watched the show and we saw six ladies participating in a friend group and one decides that she doesn't want to be with the ladies right now because she has other things going on. Then what the fuck are you doing here? Once again,
They
why are
need to
you
swap
here?
her for somebody else who can actually film
Right.
and maybe swap her for somebody else whose life is not perfect. But I do think there's a skill set and a beauty and being able to go through a lot in life, but still show up and do what you have to do. And Elena is obviously unable to do that. And it also feels like she's getting special treatment from the rest of the cast because they're all successful. They all have multiple kids, families, husbands, and a lot going on. But everybody shows up. I just don't feel like a separation where there hasn't even been a filing of a divorce is enough of a reason to not show up.
Thank you. Because I thought I was going crazy looking at her, and I'm like, okay, so Elena is cooking. So I thought maybe somebody like Ro or Latoria or somebody was going to show up at her house and they was going to kiki and catch her up. The fact that that's not what we got, and we continuously get scenes with her alone talking about this separation. I'm just like, okay, Elena,
We have
either
not
you going to
bonded with
participate.
her enough to care. No
Yeah.
shade. Like I wish
I
her kids
actually,
the best, but we're only on season 2. We don't have a bond with you enough because you was barely around on season 1. Like we don't have a bond with you enough to like really feel what you saying and feel entertained by it. I'm not trying to be mean.
yeah, I'm not trying to be mean either, but I just feel like this was such a waste of a scene. And I hate that because I do like Elena. I do. First season, I liked her a lot. But the problem is that I can't connect with her because she feels like she's only fulfilling contract obligations and not really trying.
Yep,
Like, that's what
that's
I don't.
exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, that's and I can't get with that. I'm sorry, y'all. She needs to show up or she need to go home and get off the show. But
Yeah.
yeah, but that's all that Elena scene. The next scene we have is Labrina. She's at her house. She's having a conversation with her mother. You know, she said that she's in this friend group and that she had to go to therapy. And she says as she was going back and forth with one of the ladies in the friend group, she had this like epiphany of her grandmother, you know, and her grandmother always say, always give people the benefit of the doubt and be fair. You don't know what someone else is going through, which is solid advice. Like if her grandmother was always the person telling her that, that is a very solid advice. You don't always know what someone is going through. You don't know the trials and tribulations of other people. If some people are frustrated, some people can't compartmentalize feelings and take it out. And, you know, we have to sometimes give people grace. So I'm glad that she had that moment of despair. But what got me was the fact that she was just talking about she needs to do this. She has 4 businesses. She has to do. And I'm just looking at her like, girl, now how we get from emotional to you talking about this business? You got to renovate this house and all this. And then we talk about how your mama need a man. And I'm just like, oh, too much, too much. But moral is she's throwing this vision party, which I love those, by the way. I used to go to them. We actually had a lady, but she ended up moving to I believe DC area. She used to throw one every year in Phoenix. I would go to them all the time. I need to find another one of those. I love vision parties, vision board parties. I do. Um, she says she's having a vision board party. She said the tickets are selling out. And she asked the mom if she was going to be there. And she said, yeah, I'm coming. She goes, well, where is your ticket? Because you didn't buy one. And she goes, girl, I ain't buying no ticket. That scene was cute. But she's saying, you know, telling her mom that she, you know, she invited all the ladies to the vision board party, hopefully to start anew and, you know, and try to get them all, you know, on board, which I think is, you know, a smooth idea. I think that that's sweet. How'd you feel about Labrina's scene with her mom?
Um, it was what it was. I don't really have much to add. I don't have nothing bad to say, but nothing too much to say. Labrina's interesting.
She is. She's a fascinating human being. She really is. I would love to have a 30-minute conversation with her just to pick her brain because she's very fascinating. Um, the next thing we have is Chloe. Now, Chloe, I don't mean no harm and no foul, but I'm about to read you. So I just want you to be prepared. And it's all love, baby. It is all love. Please don't get in my comments. Don't send me nothing. Don't be talking about me. It's all love. When I'm about to go off on you. So Chloe goes over to Jordan's mama's house. Now, now Chloe, didn't this man just tell you he don't want you interacting with his mama and talking to her and telling all y'all business and all the shit you about to do in this conversation? Didn't this man just tell you this? So you thought it would behoove you after you and this man are on the outs, but according to you, back in the ends, because there's a conversation that happened that we didn't get to see. But why are you at his mama's house putting up her damn Christmas tree and shit? Oh, so they have a conversation, you know, they're talking about Jordan's issues and how, you know, they've come to build this bond that they have, which is beautiful. I'm not going to discredit that. It is a beautiful thing to have a great relationship with someone you're seeing who you potentially want to bury's mother didn't have a great relationship. That is always beautiful. But the mama was all like, you know, I love you. And I think my son can't do no better than you. And ain't gonna be no other girlfriend up in here. So if y'all don't work out, that's on him. I'm not gonna accept the next lady. I'm not gonna do that. I only see it for you. And I said, interesting. Interesting that you come to these indiscretions and conclusions about your son's life that you have no part of and that you shouldn't be involved in to this extent. Mama Boosie, I need some clarification. Now I need to know, how did Jordan grow up and why does he have such an aggression? Why, when Chloe met him, he wasn't affectionate, he wasn't open, why was he such a hard exterior man? And Chloe's the best thing since sliced bread for him. Please explain. I would love to understand. Is it because she's successful? Is it because she has money? What is it about Chloe that you felt that this older lady is the perfect match for your in his 20-year-old son's, best interests? I need to know because I'm confused. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Chloe going over to this man's mama's house and telling all his business and shit?
His mama came on TV looking like she could be one of Boosie's relatives, but I mean, I don't know. I don't take this stuff with Chloe seriously. I still think it's something wrong with her to even be in this type of a situation. Oh my God, the cat.
Chloe, there's something wrong with Chloe. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I get she doesn't have her mother anymore, and I get we tend to gravitate to, other people's parents, and sometimes that does happen. I'm not going to take that, lightly. I understand that that could be something that she is, bottoming up internally. However, I don't feel like there's much age difference between you and this lady for you to feel like this is a mother figure to you as well. Like, I don't feel like this lady could have birthed you. Like, I don't feel that way. So I don't know I just don't know. I just don't know. I just feel like this is odd. This man set a line in the sand saying he don't want you telling his mama his business and you being all up in her face like this. And this is exactly what you do. Okay, Chloe. Okay. This like if this man breaks up with you or finds this disrespectful and cuss you out, I can't get mad at him for that because this is you crossing boundaries that he told you not to do and you did it anyway. Something wrong with Chloe, y'all. So yeah, after that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to how old is this man? Child 28. I think so. I think he is 28. I know he's not that far apart in age from her oldest son, the one that wanted to be the rapper. I know they're not that far apart in age. So yeah. Chloe is slow. I don't think she's slow. I just think she's calculated. Like, and I think that I think she realistically needs to benefit from some very in-depth grief counseling because I don't think her husband died that far long ago for her to be talking about getting married again and her needing this mom's relationship. It's just weird. It just is. Tamara should have been gone seasons ago. Now Miss Mama's doing the same thing. Who's Tamara? Carlos King Productions allowed this. This ain't one of Carlos's shows. Surprisingly, it moves like it. Shani, I didn't even see you up here. Hey, how you doing? Yes, happy Father's Day. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Remote and get a check. Yep. I need to go on reality TV. If they allow you to be a remote worker, I could work from home. Not Mama Boost. Yeah, that's what but Mrs. Best had texted me that shit was funny as hell. I was like, she do kind of look like him a little bit. I saw the comments mention she looked like okay, I'm done. Yeah, I'll stop talking about that lady like that. We have a
Dr. J. The way she had me and JoJo laughing.
I'm trying not to laugh.
Because now I'm viewing this lady washing the car like in the video. Oh, let me stop.
Anyways, y'all, the Tory has a scene with the CEO of Records or some shit like that. And he was one of her very first clients and everything. And she's confiding in him, all the things that are on her plate and how this could, show up in her work life. She had to, get all of the things that was in her father's name, in her name, the house, the car, assets, all kinds of things. And it's been, and from personal experience, y'all, that is a lot. How you get to go through so much. So I understand the frustration that she has and everything. And he's telling her, listen, all of that is good, but, try your best to go on with life and continue to build, continue to grow, continue to see things, continue to, build, because before you know it, life will be passing you by and you be looking like, well, where the hell the last 20 years goes? You need to start taking back some of that and enjoying yourself. And I like that he gave her that advice because that's something that I think everybody goes through, where we're constantly trying to build and grow and brand and really put life on a back burner. And my dad used to tell me, this is funny that this is Father's Day. My dad used to say, as short as life is, it also is very fast. So we have to kind of look at life like that. And I didn't understand that at all. My dad used to tell me that when I was a kid. I was like, okay, life is short, but it's really fast because it is. So, great advice. I'm glad that she has people in her corner that, can give her sound advice, can give her, words of encouragement to continue on, because you could tell that Latoria is still very much in her grief, in her processing, and trying to continue life as if, she isn't going through that. So I'm happy that people are trying to hold her down in ways that she definitely needs to be. How'd you feel about, the scene with Latoria, Mrs. Best?
It was okay, but I think that, I get it. She's going through it. She's lost a parent, but I want to see more. I definitely want to see more because it feels like every single scene with Latoria, this comes up. And I get it, it's fresh, but I want to see more. That's pretty much it. I just
Yeah.
sometimes she goes a little too far into it, and it's like you don't know who you triggering, discussing somebody's death episode after episode after episode. So I feel for her, but I want to see more from Latoria.
I
Because I feel
agree.
like we just see this, and then she pretends to be this like sweet, innocent, nice girl in her friend group, and I don't think it's really all of that. I don't feel like we see the real her on TV. Like
That's
not
fair
even a
because
glimpse of it.
yeah, because her personality is not grief and sorrow. So yeah, you're 100% correct. I don't think we see the full her either, and I definitely would like her to show more of that too. Maybe it will have a different outlook of her on this show, and based on what we see, maybe that will be better for her. But we're gonna move along, y'all. So Chloe and Jordan go for ice cream, and she takes her twin daughters with them. And they begin talking about their relationship because apparently they have moved on. Jordan took a lot of accountability for what happened and him leaving her. And I'm just like, Jordan needed to take accountability. I try not to go back to episode 1 and 2 and rewatch the scene because, in my mind and in my perspective, was Jordan wrong? Mrs. Best, was Jordan wrong for how that ended at that dinner? Because maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, you are. I mean, do you think it's right that he just walked away after bringing her somewhere and left her there? You don't just storm off from a partner in a relationship. That part was wrong. But
Okay.
what he was asking, if people want to like, if we're thinking about it from the perspective of someone that might be one track minded and focus on just the issue that they had, he is not wrong to ask her not to tell his mama all the business. But to just walk away because you're not getting what you want and leave her there after you brought her somewhere, that part was not okay.
Okay. Like I said, I didn't go back and rewatch it. And I don't have a one track mind. That's why I said I had to ask you because I didn't remember. Like I said, I don't remember much because I don't take this relationship serious.
No, but I think a
So,
lot of people will be that way when they watch the show because the last time you saw what happened with them, it was pretty much that issue. And I think people were more focused on the issue than just him walking away. But I don't think that he did nothing wrong. I feel like they're both kind of just immature
hmm
in some ways, but I don't trust Chloe dating. It's a hot mess.
this is how I feel about that when she said that comment. I felt like, to me, she didn't see nothing wrong with what she was doing, and he clearly had an issue with it. And I feel like because she doesn't see that there's not anything wrong with what she did, that the situation is not wrong. And to me, and I feel like a lot of people can move like that, where just because it's not wrong to you doesn't mean it's not wrong for someone else. So that's why I'm kind of looking like, okay, well, did you take any accountability? And long story short, because I'm not really going to go over this whole date, because that's all they talked about was, being more intentional. He wants to be with her, obviously. He wants, the relationship to work. He needs to handle things better, with storming out. That's not the way you handle things, of course. But I just feel like that should go to show you, Chloe, he's not ready to be with somebody like you that has already lived life and already learned the lessons that he still needs to learn. If that wasn't the biggest sign to you, then I don't know what is. But according to Chloe, she doesn't see herself with anybody else. She was intentional from this relationship from the beginning. This is the end all be all for her. So I'm just like,
She don't know how to be alone.
yeah, that's really what the issue is. I could have said it better myself. She don't want to be alone. And once again, I get it, because to have somebody that you've been married to unexpectedly pass, I can understand that. But once again, are you taking the time to really grieve that relationship if your stance is, I need to get back into another one and this needs to be the end all be all with somebody who is not as emotionally mature as you? Well, that's
I
still to
just
be
think it's
determined.
crazy. She got her kids around this man.
I think it's just crazy that there's so much shit in the air, and they're talking about a serious relationship where he clearly has issues that he's not addressing, and his response to when something doesn't go in his favor is to then flee the situation and run. Like, there's so many ifs and red flags here that I'm seeing, and I'm not even in the situation, and they're editing it in a way where we don't see everything.
I
We
still think
still,
Chloe is the red flag in the relationship.
you
I'm
still
not
think
gonna
it's her?
fault. I still think she is the red flag in the relationship. I do not know why, but my gut is never wrong. My discernment's usually pretty on point. I feel like this lady is the problem, but because she's older and a woman, I think more people will align and see less fault in her than they do him, especially when the way that he blows up is so animated and extra. But I don't know, just based on how I think, I feel like this young man is behaving the way, unfortunately, young men his age would behave in a relationship. And I can't take away from the fact that he's in his early 20s, but he's still got the ability to commit, which a lot of young men don't have in their own early 20s. So I feel like he's where he should be at for his age. And it's not fair for Chloe or any of us to expect for him to behave the way that a more adult and matured man would behave in a relationship when he's just 20 something years old dating a woman who's, how old is Chloe? I don't even know how old she is, but she's well above his age. So I think Chloe's the red flag, because it's weird to be having your kids around this man that you're so up and down with,
Yeah.
like of any age. That's weird. But then to be having them around somebody up and down with somebody so young, I just find that like even more weird. So I don't know. I thought Chloe is the red flag to me, but I'm not saying the guy isn't at fault. What's his name? Jordan. Like,
Hmm.
he has his faults, but his faults are not as bad. And I feel like we're not seeing how she act off camera either.
Yeah, because a lot of the things she's mentioning are things that we did not see. Like, we didn't know that y'all got past the whole infidelity thing of him having a whole other woman in his house. We didn't know y'all got past that. We just kind of were just brought into it. Like, we talked about it and we're good now. And it's like, okay, well, then what happened? Who was the young lady? Was it somebody he was sleeping with? Was it just a friend? Like, did you overreact? Like, we don't know a lot. And their editing is very weird on this show. That's one thing I will give Heart and Hustle that I do not like, is their editing is very, very strange. It is very, very strange, where we miss a lot of the key details. So it's hard to recap and conform to the show when we're missing a lot of the details that would explain how we got here. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, it's not a Carlos King show, but damn, it feel like one. It really do. And that's
That's the thing I always say. Carlos King like to be on fuck shit, but it's not all up to him. The network is a part of it, and OWN does have a bad habit. Like, I don't know who they're hiring for their editors, but call somebody else.
storylines have to make sense in order for the viewers and recappers to be able to follow along with this and give our perspectives, because us having a one side of the story is not going to work, and then us not having the visual of how we got there is not going to help either. This is going to run the show to the ground, and it has great potential. So yeah, But we're gonna move along, y'all. So the next scene we have is we have Ro and Labrina meeting up for dinner. And Rose telling her, that she had, some work done. She's still healing from it and everything. Labrina says she looks good. She, she's happy for her, and really cute scene. But Labrina gets right to the point, about how, when they ended the therapy session, the first time, how the only person to really check on Labrina to make sure she was good was Manira. Nobody else really checked on her, and she thought out of anybody, Rose should have been the one, to reach out to her too to see if she's good. Now, here's the thing that I have. This is my problem with this conversation because Labrina, in that same token, you walked out, gave everybody your ass to kiss, and said "fuck all y'all," but you wanted people to come and check on you. Did you check on anybody else outside of Manira? Because to me, you and Manira was given popular girls and then looked down on the rest of them. You more so than Manira, but that's what it looked like to me. So I was a little off put. I'm like, well, did you check on Ro? Did you make sure Ro was good? Did you conversate with her? The phone worked both ways, not just checking on you. So that was just one thing. Um, they're still not in this conversation with Labrina from Rose's perspective lets her know that they're still at odds and that this still is not going to work. So Labrina has this event coming up. So she's wondering how this is going to go, considering that Labrina still feels away and if they're ever going to get back on track. I don't think they're ever going to get back on track. Based on what Ro was saying in social media today, I don't think they'll ever get back on track now that we know that, but it would have been nice to see if there was a potential that they would. But once again, this is where I disconnect from Labrina again because I don't understand her. I just don't. I'm like, okay, what do you really want from this group then? Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that conversation between Ro and Labrina? Uh-oh, did we lose Mrs. Best? She may be having technical issues, you guys. We'll give her a second. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe to everybody here. Make sure you subscribe to also Keywan J TV, Shana _ MCV. Make sure you guys are subscribed to their channels. They also give great content. Make sure you like the video. Shout out to my replay gang. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Um, I'm gonna go ahead and move it along. Sorry, Mrs. Best, if you missed this session, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So the next thing we have is Ro. She's meeting up with her mom and sister. Her family has been staying with her through the course of her surgery, helping her with her daughter and everything, and she says that that has been a tremendous help to her because it helps get everything flowing because she has a business. She has a lot of things going on as well. And, she's saying that her daughter is about to, get reacclimated back into school after being on break, and she's going to be in one class now. So lots of good things are happening. We found that the daughter had a little boyfriend. Ro embarrassed her, bringing the boyfriend up and everything. I said, that poor baby child. Ro, come on now. You had to do that to the little girl, but that's okay. Um, we then get into deeper conversations. Apparently, there was a disruption between the daughter and her father, which caused Ro to kind of have to step in. And she's letting her daughter know that, she didn't have her father and she doesn't want the same thing for her daughter. So she's going to do better with, communicating with the father of her child more. So that way her daughter has a better relationship. And she also told her daughter to not take, what parents say to heart. Sometimes parents say things out of frustration. Sometimes parents don't really have the words, right away, and they just say things in a moment. Don't ever take that too personal, but they would do better in having the relationship. And it was a very sad scene, y'all. You could tell that, Ro not having her father and them not having a relationship even to this day does affect her in different ways. And that can affect you, especially, with not having that missing part of you. Parents are, it's like literally two chains connected to your heart. When you lose one and you don't really have it, it does leave a lot of that space to be empty. So, we're hoping that she, comes one with it and that she ends up being better with it. Oh, no worries. If you're back, hey, I was just kept finishing up the rose scene. Did you want to add anything, Mrs. Best, to that?
I hope she finds healing without her dad. That's really it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck, bro. We hope we do, because that's, that can definitely play a huge part in life for you. So we're hoping that everything goes well with that. The last scene, y'all, is Labrina's vision party event. She rented out this very petite space for what seemed to be a very big crowd of people. Um, Everyone's noticing that the space is very small. She had people on the stairs. She had people, she said this place sold out. She wasn't expecting it to sell out the way that it did. And then you had Chloe over there talking about oh, I wish you would have just hired me. I would have found you a huge space. You'd have had good food and everything. And I'm just looking at Chloe like, oh my Lord. Okay, Chloe, you in this wig. Girl, when you got some hair on your head, you seem to turn up and act up on these people events. But she's telling everyone, hey, have a good time. Make sure you cut out, articles so you can be manifesting and, putting your visions to, perspective and realism. I appreciate, as I said, I love vision board events. I do. Those are like one of my favorite events to go to. We then meet a potential friend of the show. I don't know how she's going to fit in. I don't know why we're bringing her in just now, but we meet Ashley, Dr. Ashley. She is a therapist. She just finished her doctorate, which congratulations. I love seeing that. Apparently, some of the girls do know her. She went to college with Latoria, so they were very familiar with each other. Also, I believe Manira knew her as well. So, we'll see how she fits in with the ladies. Certain people was kind of looking at her a little differently, but hey, we could use somebody to replace Elena because she look like she ain't coming back to work anytime soon. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Latoria's event? How did you feel about Chloe's shady remarks? And what do you think about Ashley?
Labrina's event, even though I don't like friends who do that, I really don't like people who do that. I would have been pointing out to my friend, like, look at this, you sold out. We got people sitting on the stairs.
I'm
The
telling
fact
you.
that people were still willing to show up and not leave her event in spite of the location being small, to me, highlight your people's successes instead of highlighting their flaws. If it bothered you that much, just tell her off camera or something. And then y'all just now getting back cool with this girl, and you think it's appropriate to just be critiquing her event.
Exactly. I
I
was
just
like, Chloe.
That was just messy. It was just messy. You don't have to tear somebody else down in order to lift yourself up, Chloe. So just remember that. But other than that, I don't have much to add about the scene. We didn't get enough about our newly doctored therapist for me to have a comment on her. She is being brought in late, but better late than never.
Yeah.
But the event looked like a success and it was positive.
It was. And I actually, like I said, I love those events. I would have had no problem sitting on the stairs and doing my little board. Like, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. I just feel like Chloe just wanted to be messy.
She was
It's
hated, but at the end of the day, all them people stuffed and all paid to come to her event. And now she's
Yep.
going to be known to have events that are packed out. And had she had a bigger space and the same number of people, people probably would have talked about how many people looked like it was there. So she was kind of damned if she did, damned if she didn't. I hate a hater. Can't stand a
I do
hater.
too. Yes, thank you. Because I was looking at Chloe in that wig, and I was like,
That's why you look crazy with short hair and with long hair,
she did. I'm sorry.
bitch. Like, why? I can't stand a hating ass bitch. I swear on my mama, I cannot stand no hating ass bitch. And I was looking at her because her hair. I noticed when she wear her short hair, she combs it forward,
Hmm.
almost like it ain't no hair up under there if we comb it back the other way. And then you put on a wig and it looked like your braid down wasn't braided down. So Chloe, please figure out
Yes.
this 25-year-old boy that you running after before you try to come for somebody else's event.
I just think it was just tacky. That's just something you just don't do. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she probably really did not think this was going to do what it did. She probably did not have that mindset at all, and thinking, hey, the ticket sold out. I have a packed event. Everybody still did what they needed to do. It's successful. I'm telling you, I would have been cheering her. I'm like, girl, look at all these people. I'm so excited. And if it really, like, well, this is how I feel. If the food was an issue and she ran out of food, then why don't you Uber eat some shit to her and be like, look, I got you. We gonna get this together if y'all really are that fucking hungry. Like, Yeah, Chloe was working my nerves, and I agree with that. She's very beautiful. I hope she come with some good energy. Hopefully, she ain't messy like that preview said that she was. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Miss Ashley, Dr. Ashley, I should say. But that was it, y'all. That was Heart and Hustle Houston. It was an okay episode. A few things did piss me off, Chloe included. Like there's just things that I feel like she just crossed. She doesn't know boundaries. I think that's what it is. She doesn't know boundaries, and she messy as hell. Like she just is. Like out of all of them, like between her and Latoria, I can't get with them two. Like I just cannot. And I'm trying to work with Labrina. I really am. I'm trying to
Victoria
work
gonna
with her.
figure out that Chloe the one who made the precious comment.
Oh yeah, I want. That's why I said I hope they have a reunion. I
Give them
hope
a
they have a
reunion just so
reunion. Just
Latoria can apologize because she really did come down. Labrina was coming at them like, well, fuck you bitches. Whatever.
right,
Which a lot of females do if they have a little issue with they friends. But Latoria turned it into she's body shaming and tearing down other people and as a liar. Like she really did assassinate that girl's character. And Labrina's messy, yes. But Latoria really came for her hard for a comment that we saw Chloe was the one who actually made.
right.
So I want to see a reunion.
I want to see a reunion too. I want to see how that plays out. I 100% agree with you. But yeah, but that was pretty much the episode, y'all. It was like I said, it was good, but and Elena, you need to bring your ass to work or you need to get off the show. One to two need to happen, but I need you to do something. I better not see another scene with you just in your house cooking or you at work doing somebody makeup. I need to see you participate.
Right. I could feel myself doing that.
Right. Chloe Tuckler. But that was it. She goes, shout out to my replay gang. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for watching and committing to me. And I totally appreciate y'all. Once again, I hope everyone enjoyed your Father's Day. Give your father a hug. Let him know you love him. Because life is short, but it goes by fast. So make sure you let them know while they're still here. We thank you guys once again. And I'll see you guys on my next live. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.